Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for the great traction from our first video. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes. Today we're kind of doing a backtrack. We had another topic planned, but we sort of felt like we'd be leaving things hanging if we didn't address some of the questions that came. So last time we spoke about how to get over a breakup or the end or a divorce. So I got a lot of questions on my emails and my inbox from people on the topic, and I'm going to be addressing them one by one. So I've got a little book here. I've written some of your questions and I'm going to answer them as honestly as possible. And I'm going to keep everyone anonymous because I'm sure people don't want their business out there. You'll understand in a minute. Okay, the first question that I got here is, how do I ignore what people are saying? Well, I wish I had the answer for that on how to ignore what people are saying. But I think the most practical thing I can advise you is surround yourself with new people. I did touch on the last broadcast that we need to change our circles. So if you are hanging around with a lot of people who are married, maybe hang out with people who aren't. But just take it a step further. Meet new friends, people who are not going to always reference to your old relationship. Generally, that will kind of change the lingo around you and it will change the conversations that are being had. The next question I got is, my husband has been unfaithful to me. I want a divorce. Okay, first of all, I cannot tell you whether or not you should get a divorce. That is not for me to decide. But all I know is that when you want a divorce, you do not ask anyone's opinion. You literally go. You know, you don't need advice, you don't need affirmation, because divorce is generally not an easy thing. And I also think we need to remove preconceptions about what a perfect relationship is and what Hollywood, has put out there with the perfect, relationship, the perfect family, the perfect husband, and the perfect wife. Okay. So that's the second one. Another one is, I've recently gotten divorced and now everyone is asking me questions at church. What do I do? Now this is a very common thing because a lot of people are in your business at church anyway, because you're in home cell and maybe you got married in the church. I can't really give advice for other people, but I'll use my own experience. I basically changed churches. And for me, it was really a new start, starting people who generally didn't know me very well. It took me a while for me to find a church that I felt very comfortable in, and a church where you were not judged according to who you're married to, because, family is very important. And a very unfortunate thing that our churches do is they actually negate or forget the fact that there are single parents within the church. So a lot of people find themselves in churches and they do not have a sense of identity. So to overcome that, I just looked for a new church, and it took me a while, and I found a church, a phenomenal church, which I'm in right now, where I don't feel like I'm anything less than I am because I do not have a husband anymore. So for me, my advice would be find a new church, or maybe speak to your leaders about, give them details or something. But for me, what has worked is just generally finding a new church. I got another one that said, will I ever find happiness again? And yes, and yes. You find reasons to smile again. You find joy in things that you had forgotten that you loved before. I don't know if that question was talking about happiness in a relationship again, but I think that just generally, your marriage or your relationship, it really takes center hold of your life. So when you find yourself without that thing, you discover all the little joys in it again. And yes, you are worthy of love. Yes, someone amazing will probably come into your life and you will be happy again. Maybe you'll get married again. Maybe you'll travel the world and find other interests are more appealing to you than being married. Maybe you really love being single. And I have to be honest that I generally do like being single. I do get a bit lonely, but I really value my time. I value my ability to make my own decisions. I value the fact that I don't have to hide my shoes in my boots and sneak them in because my husband won't approve. But there's so many beautiful things about being single. So will you be happy again? Chances are yes. Another little sub thing, happiness is a decision. So I think the most important thing you can do is make a decision to be happy and realize that your happiness lies within you. If you are in a relationship and you are unhappy, you need to change you. You will not change the other person to make you happy. Until you have found that oneness and that, Zen or whatever it's called, it's very hard for you to meet someone who's gonna complete you. We need to stop that whole thing. You complete me, oh please. You need to be complete because no one has time to be building you and making you happy and satisfy you. You need to satisfy yourself, make yourself happy, and yeah, that is the answer for that. Another one is what's going on? Like, why are so many people getting divorced and why are so many families breaking up? I have two theories about this, and I have to put a disclaimer out there. They are Lonzo's theories, so do not quote me, but it is something that makes sense to me, and it's something that I don't mind sharing. First of all, South Africa is generally a country that has gone through a lot of trauma. So no matter what side of the line you were or whatever team you were on, there was a lot of trauma that was experienced. We're just one of those countries that says, hey, we're not going to talk about race. We're a rainbow nation. We're not going to do this. You know what I mean? We just kind of put a plaster and we go on. And if we don't deal with things, the wound starts infesting and it grows and we need to cut off that limb. So I think because of that issue, marriages are breaking up because the people have gone through trauma and they have not dealt with the things that they went through. Another reason for you also meeting the wrong person is because since you haven't dealt with the trauma, you're going to attract what you haven't dealt with. So you'll find that if your mom was divorced, my parents are separated, you're likely to be divorced because you actually, number one, have not maybe been in a functional family. So you can't mirror that. And number two, you generally attract your father or your mother. So you're looking for those spouses and that combination is generally not good. So for me, that is one of the reasons why my divorce is actually probably a very positive thing that happened in my life, because it gave me the opportunity to look at myself and look at my family tree and start dealing with all the different things that have happened to bring me where I am. I did a lot of introspection, and as much as I was so upset with my ex-husband, but at the moment I had to sit down and say, okay, these are the things that I did that contributed to the divorce. I do believe that I'm a stronger and I'm a healthier, mentally healthier person because of that. It also goes back to that thing on counseling. I did a lot of counseling, and the counseling not just about the marriage, but the counseling was about me. So those are the things that really helped me, and that is the advice that I can give you based on that. I really know that it's a very difficult thing to talk about. This channel will not be dealing only with that, but I do think that it is an issue that we should just cover extensively, and then when it's done, we wrap it up and we put it away, and then we deal with the other more gorgeous and exciting things about being Lons. Thank you so much for coming to the channel, and don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment, please.